This is the plaintiff, Maisha Armstead. She says she moved in with her friend, the defendant, and living with her turned out to be one of the most horrible experiences of her life. The defendant and her boyfriend would constantly fight. It became unbearable for her to live there with her grandson, so she moved out. The defendant stole an alarm system from her, and she wants it back. So she's suing her here and now for the $1,861.76 she's owed. This is the defendant, Tanya Denton. She says she is shocked the plaintiff, a friend of hers for 30 years, is actually suing her in court today. She went above and beyond providing a place for her to live when she was down and out. And this is the thanks she gets? Things got so bad she needed to grab a bat and threaten her so she'd leave her house. Oh, her? Ha! She's accused of creating an alarming situation.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Maisha Armstead, you're suing your former friend, Tanya Denton, for $1,861.76 in an alarm system plus fees that you're going to be forced to pay that, according to you, she threw out. You're also suing to be recompensed for rent that you paid her. What's going on?
Well, Judge Mahon, I got into a situation. I raised my grandsons. One of them had just had surgery. I just moved to a 3-bedroom house that had mold and stuff. He had an open surgery, and they continuously were, both of them are on breathing machines. So we continuously have to be on.
How old are the kids?
6 and 8.
Oh, my goodness.
But at the time, they were 5 and 7. And so I had moved in the house, and it was full of mold. And so I had to get him out that house. So I moved out. I put everything of mine in storage except for a small portion that I was taking with me. I moved in with the defendant. I had a choice to either...
How did you know the defendant?
I've been knowing her for like 30 years.
30 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you've been friends since when? I don't know how old you are, so I...
1982.
When you were in
high school.
High school. Okay. So go on.
So I had a choice to either move with my friend or move with my niece. My niece was more convenient, but I felt my friend was going through some serious matters with domestic violence, etc., according to what she was telling me, because that's my friend. We talk, okay? So I felt like she was...
And then you tell America.
Oh, well, America's going to know anyway. Okay. But so I felt like she was in a more jeopardized situation. So what she says,
So you wanted to put your children in that jeopardized situation, your grandkids?
No, because listen, here's what it was. The situation was she has an ex-boyfriend who kept tearing up her house, her
Why would you want your 5 and 7-year-old who has an open wound to go there then?
An ex-boyfriend who didn't live there, but because he had mail coming there, kept using that as his forced way of entry into her home. So she needed, in order to get money saved up, because she couldn't financially do it herself. So I said, okay, I'll come south instead of north where I worked at, my grandkids went to school at and everything, to help my friend of 30 years.
Well, how are you going to help her? You mean because you're going to contribute to rent? Okay.
Yes. So as I get there and I get in and everything, and he's there, he's comfortable. Now, this is a man that doesn't live there, according to her. So he's comfortable, he's laid up on the couch, he's doing things that he does.
So you don't move in?
No, I had already moved my things in.
So you move out?
I didn't have nowhere to go, because now my niece. Now she's got a roommate. So, okay, now I'm paying her the rent. So I gave her the first initial $200. So now you have the money to go down.
What were you going to be paying him rent?
$300 a month.
Okay.
And I moved in the middle of July, but I still gave her $200.
So when you gave her $200, now you'll be able to what?
Now she should be able to go down and file the papers like she's supposed to on the eviction.
To get him evicted.
Exactly. That's because that was the objective.
Okay.
And so
was your boyfriend there because you wanted him there, or was your boyfriend there because he told the police, I'm a tenant too?
He said he told the police that he was a tenant, and they said that I had to actually evict him. The eviction amount was $500.
Right.
By me going through my other situation with my home, then I had to save up $500. It was just one income, and I couldn't afford to do it by myself. So she did move in. I did let her move in. She did give me initial $200.
Okay, what went wrong that caused you to want to move out so quickly?
What went wrong?
Him.
Yes, him. Totally. Let me
Tell me
tell
about
you. It was a sad situation. He was tearing up her house. He would tear up her car. He was beating her dog. I mean,
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he was doing any and everything.
Why didn't you guys just call the police and get him out of there and get a restraining order?
Many a time she's had.
And you couldn't get a restraining order to get him out?
No.
I finally got a restraining order in December.
Okay. So you decide you've got to move out. You move out when?
I moved out the 1st of September.
Were you fighting with her too, or just, you know?
No, I was actually, I didn't even stay at the house. I was so, Judge Milian, the police runs. I got a phone call in the middle of the night. I went to stay with my boyfriend most of the time. I would come back to her.
What'd you do with the kids?
They went with me.
Right.
You know, and I came back to her house maybe about like two or 3 days a week at the most to do laundry and get back out of there. One day I got a phone call. I didn't answer my phone. I think I was over on the weekend. And I wake up to a voicemail. Excuse me for saying like, you're supposed to be here. I was so scared to go back to the house. I thought she done killed him. I was so afraid.
That she killed him?
I was
Not that he killed her.
No, because she was talking to me.
Yeah.
So I was afraid. I was afraid because I had police. I didn't realize.
She was talking to you, but you weren't afraid that he had attacked her?
No, you know what I thought? I thought the victim had then turned into aggressor on me.
You really thought that she had killed him?
Yes, because I have police reports, but there's also runs as well.
What? Tell me about your lawsuit.
When I left, I was so happy to get out of there. I'm sorry. I was so happy to get out of there. I was running.
You move out September 1st.
First thing I did was pack down my alarm.
You two are at peace. There's no problems between you two at that point.
I didn't know anything was wrong between us.
All right, so you move out on September 1st, and what happens?
And I packed up my alarm system. I took the base part, which is heavy, and I put it in the box. I put the smaller, like the keypad and stuff, and I put it in the bag, and I set it on her kitchen table for me to put in the front with me so I wouldn't get damaged in the back as I was moving. So at the end of the day, I jumped in the truck, and I'm out of there. Bye. You know, I'm so excited to go. I left my alarm system behind and didn't realize it.
The part that was on the table?
Yes, and didn't realize it until it was time for them to come out and reinstall it into my new home. Which was
how much later?
They take 2 weeks, but it was...
No, how much later after the day you left?
It was October the 19th that they were going to install.
So you realize a month and a half later that you left the bag?
Because I had unpacked.
And so you call her and you tell her what?
I text her, actually.
Right.
I text her.
Have you talked to her in that month and a half?
Nope. I don't know. I don't think so.
So obviously things aren't okay between you.
I don't think we had any problems.
No,
Well, I mean, you're talking to her for a month and a half, and you think that she's the victim of domestic violence and that horrible things are happening in her house? Yeah, I know. I mean, apparently you'll live with anybody, because that's not, to me, somebody who's a good friend if you don't know what's going on in her life. But, so you're not that close, I guess. But in any event, you call her a month and a half later, more than a month and a half later, and you tell her, I left a bag on the table. And go on.
So I go in the house, and I said, Tanya, I just came to get my alarm system. And she said, I don't know where that alarm system is at. I said, you don't know where it's at? She said, no, I probably threw it away or something. And I said, you threw my alarm system away? Are you serious? My alarm system, though. And she said, I don't know where it's at. She said it was in the bag, or I probably did throw it away. I'm like, are you serious? I said, and so I got mad and I hit her wall. Yeah, I hit her wall, and her, she said she made a police report. She said that the picture that was on the wall shattered off the wall and so on and so forth. And
did it?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
And she said, she called. I'm calling the police. So I knew that I had to leave because, of course, I'm going to be the aggressor because I came to her house. So all I wanted was my property, and she, like I said, she told me she threw it in the trash. She don't know where it's at. I might have threw it in the trash.
Do you know where
or
it
whatever.
is?
No, I don't. I remember picking it up, putting it in the back room where she was. That was it. I don't know where it is. Still to this day, when I cleaned up everything and took and went through my house, still don't know, because it was in a plastic bag. I'm not going to say that. I can't even say if he took it or not. I don't know. I don't know where it is, but it's not in that house. I've never gotten any keys back from Miss Armstead. So I'm not, who's to say she might have came in there and got it. But she said she was moving September 1st. She didn't finish moving all her stuff out until the end of September. I never got a key back. So I don't know. I don't even know exactly where it is.
Why does a whole month and a half pass? It's a
'Cause
long
that's-
time. I mean,
that's
it's not
when-
like the next day or something. It's a month and a half later.
That's when the alarm.
Do you think he took it like to be spiteful because he knew what it was, or?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It was a lot of stuff that I was coming up missing, so I can't say he took that. I can't
Because
say
it's not of any use to anybody if you don't have the
can't-
other
right.
part.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if the boyfriend is a terror in the apartment, you allowed to break the lease and move?
Yes, because I wouldn't sit there and tolerate all his.
I know you wouldn't want to, but are you required to? What do you think? Well, you don't know, but what do you think? What do you think?
I think you should be able to move.
Why?
Because, man, if the situation is unbearable, that's not right, you know?
I know, but is unbearable enough to break a lease?
Yes, it is.
You think?
Yeah, yes, it is. Somebody might wind up getting hurt.
You know, anybody who looks like Ernest Hemingway, I'm going to believe. Going inside the courtroom.
What are you suing for? I don't understand your lawsuit. You're suing for $500 in rent.
Yes, ma'am. Because the situation was so volatile, I couldn't even stay there. I have police reports during the time that I stayed there, and these are just the police reports. They're not even about the police runs that also came about.
Let me see the police reports. So you lived there from when to when?
July to the middle of July to the 1st of September.
How many times are the police coming to your house?
practically every day.
So why should you be able to keep her rent if it's that bad? You know, that's not livable, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to order you to pay her back half of the rent, $250. As for the alarm system, here's the problem that you had. A month and a half passed, and you know, the law is that a landlord, and she's really your landlord, doesn't have to hold the stuff you left behind forever. I mean, there's a point at which it's considered abandoned if enough time passes. And most states leave it up to the judge to figure out what enough time is, but the rule of thumb is probably 30 days after you're out of there and not paying rent anymore. 30 days would be, I mean, frankly, you should take it all out August 31st is when it should be out. But if you're gonna leave something behind, then all right, day 1, day 2, day 7, day 20, landlord, you don't have a right to throw that stuff out. You gotta still hold on to it. It may seem ridiculous that you gotta hold on to it 30 days, but you gotta hold on to it. You can't just put it out in the garbage. You can't do, but then at some point, it's a month and a half. I mean, and enough time has passed that it's just something you left behind in a place where you probably shouldn't have, because there's people coming in and out, and there's crazy guy, and not the best idea. Obviously, your relationship with her isn't very good either. If you don't even talk to each other and you're not worried about her or her safety or anything else while that month and a half is passing. But a month and a half is just too remote. I can't find that she had an obligation to continue to safely store stuff you left behind a month and a half later. So my net judgment in this case is $250 to you and a rebate on the rent. That's my judgment. Okay.
Let's keep in mind this was a 30-year friendship at the point that it started breaking apart. Very sad. What about this court case?
Hey, it doesn't matter to me.
Why not?
She got it. I mean, she left it. I normally host stuff, and to this day, I think I got a bag in the house that got some of her grandson's toys and stuff.
Okay, that's the property. What about the friendship? Does that matter to you?
Don't matter. Leave
That
it
doesn't
as it
after
is.
all those years.
Don't have time.
You just
for
turn
it.
it around on that and that's it.
That's it.
You just head that way and leave it
you.
behind?
All right.
All right, just like that. 30 years of friendship goes around the corner, just like that.
Just like that, have to pick and choose your friends wisely. You
had 30 years to decide on this one. Obviously, this was a good friend.
I've just been trying to be supportive. No, I was a good friend. It's a sad day for her, not for me. I'm okay today.
All right, Harvey.
Landlords typically have to follow abandonment laws. Typically, that means that if somebody leaves property behind after 30 days and the landlord tries to get in touch and is unsuccessful, the landlord can throw it out or do whatever with it. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.